Hello and welcome to
Sestra-Tainment.
I'm Lenora.
And I'm Dee.
And we're coming to you today in regards to
Everything Entertainment.
So today, sis, you are up first. What do you have?
Yeah, so I actually have a couple of things that I want to talk about, but my main thing that I want to talk about right now is Agatha All Along.
It was Agatha All Along.
Yeah. Agatha All Along. So this is actually the
continuance.
I guess would be continuance. The sequel to yeah, right, to WandaVision. So
So good.
it does have a lot of the same characters in it. Like you'll see some people that you'd be like, hey, I remember that guy. Like
Just
so
being in the
because
neighborhood?
they're in the neighborhood of Westview. So yeah, you'll see some of the same people, but I mean, you only see them for like a few seconds.
Yeah, but
anyway. So this to go over who all of the people are.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, I gotta pull it back up.
Okay. I'll
There we go.
stop.
No, I'm good. I got it now. All right. So you have Catherine Hahn
Yep.
as Agatha Harkness.
Yep.
You have Joe Locke, and we're just going to call him the teen because you find out who he is later on in the show, and I don't want to ruin that.
Okay.
You have Sashir Zamata from SNL, and she plays Jennifer Kale. Mm-hmm. You have Alian, who plays Alice Wu. Oh, Gulliver.
Okay.
Yeah, Patty LuPont.
Oh, okay.
And she plays Lila Calderu. You have Aubrey Plaza. Everybody loves Aubrey. She's from Parks and Rec.
Oh, okay.
April from Parks and Rec.
Oh, I
The
didn't
weird
know that
one.
was her name in real life.
Yeah. She plays Rio Vidal, which is another character that you would know from if you were into all of the stuff with Marvel. And then you also have Deborah Jo Rupp as Mrs. Hart. Now, Deborah Jo Rupp, everybody knows her as Kitty from that 70s show or that 90s show. It depends on which one you're looking at.
Which one you're watching.
Yeah. So basically, when it taking from the end of WandaVision, it basically starts off with Agatha, and they're still calling her Agnes because her mind is still messed up. So if you have not watched WandaVision, you might have some spoiler alerts.
You have to, watch
You have to watch it in order to watch Agatha All Along. It's literally like part 2. So it's she's still stuck in Westview, but the way that it goes is kind of weird. She's investigating a body. She's investigating a crime. And with this crime, it's just a body. She can't see the girl's face or anything. It's just a woman that just fell out of the sky. There's no drag marks, no nothing. And she just fell out of the sky, landed, and she's supposed to be a detective. So she's going and she's trying to figure out exactly what's going on. She sees something in like a puddle of water. She picks it up. And then they're like, you got something? She's like, no. And she puts it in her pocket. She walks off. And then, and this what she finds is a brooch. It's like an old brooch.
But it's not the detective that was in WandaVision.
No.
Okay, just making sure I was
No.
clear. Okay,
She is, Agatha is played by, this is hard to explain. Agatha in Westview is named Agnes because she's under Wanda's spell.
Yes, okay.
So when you see that she's a detective and everything, then stuff starts to change slowly. And then she starts to come out of that being in a trance from Wanda. And now she's realizing, oh, snap, like, none of this that I've been thinking about is real. Like, I'm still stuck here in Westview. She walks out of her house butt naked over to her neighbor. I'm just like, hey. He's like,
where you
Agnes, what... Lord, you're naked. She was like, I don't care about none of that. What year is it? What time is it? He was like, we're all still here. She was like, is Wanda alive? Is Wanda dead? What's going on? They was like, we don't speak her name. She was like, that's because y'all are wimps. That's why.
Goodness, okay.
She's just going off on people.
We don't talk about Bruce.
No, right?
So
we don't talk about Wanda. No. Yeah. So from there, they're just like, you see a couple of people from WandaVision. You're just like, wow, I remember that person, that neighbor, blah, 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 blah. So then she ends up going from there. Some kid tries to break into her house. And this is who we call the teen.
Okay.
He tries to break into her house and she chases him down. And the lady who plays Kitty actually hits him with the car, stops him. She arrests the kid, and they have a whole moment. But it's too much, basically.
It's too much.
It's a lot. The way that she's like really like, yeah, it's just too much. Anyway, so the boy, so she's talking to the boy. She's trying to figure out what's going on, and come to find out, he says, "Hey, this, you should definitely think about blah blah blah. Like, I'm here because I'm trying to go to the Witch's Road because this is what I've heard." And she's like, "Oh, that's a myth." No, it's not, because everybody looked up all your information, and you're like 500 years old because you're a witch from the Salem witch trials or whatever. I don't even know how long ago it was, really. But then they're like, yeah, like, this is you with that brooch on, and she looks at the brooch, and like that's the thing she found.
Remembers,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
So now it's just them. It's just they have to have a what is it called? A coven.
A coven.
They have to have a coven in order to go down the Witch's Road. In order to...
This is a lot.
Well, this is all in like the first episode. But yeah, there's a coven. They have to get a coven to go down the Witch's Road in order to release everyone from Wanda's spell. Oh. And the Kraken. Yes.
Sorry.
So, it ends up being... I like how it's all put together so far. So far, so good. Still more episodes coming out. I think it comes out on like Fridays, Wednesdays, Sundays, something.
Yeah, because it's one of those that they release.
Yeah, I think it's like Wednesday or Friday or something like that.
Whole thing.
Yeah.
What is it on again?
It's on Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
Yes.
Okay.
So now that we've gotten down the Witch's Road right now.
Okay.
And from what I've seen.
So
now you're just trying to figure out where everything is coming, and you figure out what's going on with the kid, who the kid is, where the kid came from. The kid has his own story. The teen has his own story. Okay. You didn't even know anything about that because you're following Agatha the whole time. That each individual person has their own thing. I was about to turn it off. Okay. Because I thought it was a musical.
Oh, do they have musicals? I mean, musical numbers?
There was one. Oh, thank God. It's only one. Down the road.
Was it called Schmigadoon?
No, it's not Schmigadoon.
Okay, yeah. Good.
But yes,
for you.
Yeah, for me. Yeah. For me. Some people might love it. So yeah, just that one song, but they play the song the entire show, so you know the words to the song by the end of the show. Yeah. And actually, one of the ladies who is a record. So one woman was a witch. She had a daughter, was trying to protect her daughter, but she was also a music star. So she would do all of her stuff in her music. Okay. So like all of her spells and everything in the music, and like giving out different information about stuff about witches in her music. Nobody paid attention to it. It was just like, oh, she's just like a witchy type lady. And they
like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah, exactly.
Stevie Nicks is a witchy type.
Exactly. So that from there, you take the album. The boy listens to the album. He's like, wait, hold on. This is that lady. Like, I found out the Witch's Road is a real thing. And this is the lady who can show us how to get there. And like the words of the song tell you how to get down the Witch's Road. So
nobody was paying attention, so they didn't know it was real.
Exactly. Yeah. So the witches come together. All the different witches get together, and they had to get one more witch. So they was like, oh, we got one lady, and then they go and get the lady who plays Kitty.
Oh, okay.
So, all in all, everything that leads up, every episode did give me a bit of, I wish I would have waited for it to all come out before I watched it.
Now I can wait.
Yeah, because you know how WandaVision was like that?
Yeah, because it was like so good. Like, it was like must-see TV.
But then also you were like, wait, what did I just watch? Why was it black and white like a TV show for WandaVision?
And why are they acting like that? Yeah. And what? Yeah.
But this is like, wait, is this reality or is this Westview? Or is this, you're trying to figure out exactly what's going on. You're trying to see if Wanda is good or bad. You're trying to figure out where Rio even came from and to talk to it. And then you're like, what's going on? Why is Rio and Agatha like going back and forth? And then what does the kid have to do with all this stuff? And then why do they need all these witches when it doesn't even matter once you get to the end? Right. So it's a whole bunch of stuff, but so far it's good. It's Disney. It's Marvel. So all in all, I think that it's a good show to watch after you watch WandaVision.
After you watch WandaVision, 100%.
You have to watch WandaVision in order to understand this. Watch WandaVision, then watch Agatha All Along. Literally. Like I said, WandaVision's part 1. Well, let's just say that this whole thing is under the umbrella of Westview. And part 1 is, let's say it's Westview, WandaVision. Now we're going to part 2, Westview, Agatha All Along.
Okay, gotcha.
Because everything is still inside of Westview.
Everything's still in there. Okay.
Yes. So that's what I had. Check it out.
Okay.
It's cute. It's cute.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you have, ma'am?
So I have Fanatical, the catfishing of Tegan and Sara. It's on Hulu.
Wait.
I don't know who Tegan and Sara are, but they are a musical group. They're like a folksy musical group that I've never heard of before. They're sisters. They're twins.
Oh, yeah, they're twins, yeah.
And they're both lesbians. Mm-hmm. Part of the LGBTQIA.
LGBTQI.
Right.
Alphabet Mafia. Go ahead, continue.
So, in regards to that, there is a documentary about them because they basically are a group that got famous just, kind of connecting with their fans, talking to their fans, all of those types of things. They would do, well, especially Tegan, they would do a show like in a small venue, and then they would do a meet and greet. And Tegan was all about like meeting with the people, shaking their hands, giving them hugs and taking pictures and telling them about her life story and documenting things on Instagram and just all of those things. So just having her life on display. Okay. Right? And so this documentary is about the fact that someone started catfishing people as Tegan. And people believed that it was Tegan. And
people are so gullible. I know somebody right now that thinks they're dating an Instagram model. And I'm like, sir, you're not.
Yeah.
At all.
At all.
I saw the picture that you paid to take with her.
Anyway, yeah. And that's the thing, right? So what it all is about is that in this instance, you have people who are just obsessed with this group. They feel like this group is saying all the things that they've never been able to say. Yeah. They are, expressing things that these people, just are so enthralled in. And so therefore, when it comes to Tegan reaching out, people are like, oh yeah, I did connect with Tegan. I did take a picture with Tegan. I did post my picture with Tegan. So therefore, if Tegan is Instagramming me now because I posted a picture on Instagram of me and Tegan together, then I'm believing that that's Tegan. So then the person starts off and it's all innocent and it's all nice. And they're just like, hey, how are you? It's so good to meet you tonight, blah, blah, blah. And then the person is like, oh, it was nice to meet you too. I'm honored. Like, thank you so much for reaching out. I wouldn't have thought that you would do that and you'd be too busy. And so the person would then just start carrying on a conversation and they would just talk every now and then they would start sharing personal information like, hey, just want to let you know I found out my mom has cancer today and I'm really, feeling really down and out and, just feel like I just need people to talk to. And, of course, fans are like, oh my God, like, yes, absolutely. Like, how can I do for you? Like, and they weren't asking for money.
But why does anybody even think that? Never mind. Continue.
Well, I mean, it doesn't start there, right? It starts with, hey, great to meet you, blah, blah, blah.
But,
you're talking.
But she actually met the person.
Yeah. Well, in one instance, it was a person who had taken a picture with Tegan, posted it on Instagram. And then went from there. Gotcha. The follow-up was, hey, it was just great meeting you, blah, blah, blah. But it's other people, too, who had met Tegan in real life. Like, they were in the same friends groups.
So there's
and things like
close.
that. So well, here's the thing. So what ends up happening is that this person, starts like, say if it's just truly a fan, right? And it's all these meet and greets, right? So then you meet, you greet, and people after a meet and greet, sometimes they will post stuff. So somebody had that inside track alone just to know, we post this stuff. So therefore, X, Y, and Z. And then what ended up happening is I think some of it when they were in the same friend circles, it would be that somebody else posted something and tagged everybody in the friend circle. So then if you tag everybody, I'm assuming they don't go into that in the documentary, but I'm like, how would they know?
How would you know everything that this person is doing and who they spoke to? And
here's another side. It'll get deeper. So what ends up happening, let me go back to the first scenario. So the person is interacting, engaging, talking, right? And then they're hearing a little bit more, and this show date, these things are, kind of gruesome, but it's great to have a friend like you, blah, blah, blah. And the person said, look, they never sent a message while a show was performing. They always were like, if a show is happening on Thursday from 6 to 9,
I can't message you.
They're not messaging them. Yeah. They would message maybe at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night.
Yeah, after they're done with their
after
set.
the show was, they were meticulous in regards to making sure that
bodyguard.
They did everything
it was the bodyguard.
as it was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
Then, all of a sudden, when it came to things like the mother having cancer, Sara and Tegan were the only ones who knew that. So they were like, how in the world, like, who is it near us? Like you said, bodyguard, a personal assistant, whatever. So they started like drilling everybody. Once they found out that this person was going around doing that, they were drilling everybody around them. Like, what were you doing? You had access to this, blah, blah, blah. In one instance, somebody seemed to have used a hairstylist's phone to make a connection to something. And long story short, it seems as though the person is a hacker. So the person who is doing this seems to have some type of hacking abilities where they can go in and pull personal information, their address, their passports. They had their mother having cancer. They had all of these different things about these particular people. And for whatever reason, they were only targeting Tegan. Mm-hmm. They weren't targeting Sara, but Sara was like feeling it by association, of course. Tegan is mortified because Tegan is like, oh my gosh, like these are my fans. Like these are my people. I love going up to them and talking to them and engaging with them. But then they're told by their legal department and all these other people, you can't do that anymore. Yeah. You have to not do that. And it hurts her to her heart because she's like, that's what I feed off of. Sara was like, I'm good. I don't need to do it. I don't need to do it. But Tegan was like, no, that's how I connected with people. But it's how it opened me up to a situation like this. So then Tegan gets a real life girlfriend. Okay. And so the real life girlfriend automatically becomes a part of all of the... She
did it. I'm just naming people. I'm just randomly.
Well, they become a part of the target. So then it becomes, we know where she works. We know where she lives. They start putting this stuff on the internet or telling the people who really like Tegan and think that they're in a relationship with Tegan. Because that's the thing the other person would do too, is the catfisher would start off friendly. Then all of a sudden throw something romantic in there and throw something flirty in there. And then they start flirting back together. And then they throw something really inappropriate in there. And then the person's looking at their phone like one lady was like, I don't know about this.
Yeah,
she went, because she was like, it started off cool. Then it got a little flirty. And I was like, oh, this is cute. Yeah. And then it became like, and then it's all like, oh, I can't let anybody know that I'm like actually like flirting with Tegan. Like I can't really tell people. Like I think she told like her best friend or something, but like you don't tell people that because you're like, it's a famous person. It'd be like, oh, let me tell people that I'm flirting with like Chris Brown who's on concert all the time or whatever, exactly, whoever. So anyway, what ends up happening is she actually ended up having a friend who was the friend of Tegan and them. Like she had a friend who was a friend of a friend or something to that effect.
Friend of a friend.
Yes. So what ended up happening, she sent the text to the friend of hers and said, look, I got this text from Tegan. It seems a little off and different and personal. Can you check and see something? So the friend came back and said, she has no idea who you are. And this girl had been texting back and forth with Tegan like 6-9 months. Yeah. And she was just like mortified.
Did they show the messages?
They would show the messages.
Oh, yeah. Then you'll be able to tell if it was a man or a woman.
They would show the messages. And it was one of those situations where it just became like this tree of people who, like, it. I don't know how this person had enough time in their life to connect with so many people. So it was like, okay, we're talking to this one person who's a fan. We're talking to this person who's a fan. Then they say, oh, well, we're talking to Tara over here, and we're talking to Stephanie over here, and we're talking to this person over there. Now, Stephanie is somebody that she knew in real life, probably was tagged in one of those pictures, and they had met, but then they didn't really know each other. Yeah. So then she's thinking, because she had met her, that if she's hearing from Tegan, she's like, oh, yeah, cool. It's so good to talk to you again, blah, blah, blah. But it's not the real Tegan. So they start talking. They start a quote unquote relationship via the messages. And then this girl when she finally realizes, like, look, you're playing games. Like, you're in town. Why aren't you coming by and seeing me?
Yeah,
like,
exactly, yeah.
We're right here. We know we're here. And it was always an excuse. So she goes on Instagram and starts berating Tegan like she is, this and that and blah, 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 blah. And she's playing with people's emotions and yada, 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 yada. So she does all of that. And then the real Tegan is like, who are you talking about?
Who are you? I've never met you.
No, she did. This was the one that she had met.
Oh, yeah.
She knew they were in the same circle. But she was like, what do you mean? Like, what did I do to you? Like, we're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so confused. And she was like, no, you're lying. Why are you gaslighting? I don't know why you're trying to act like this. Just because I put you on blast, you and your people are trying to protect you. And I mean,
oh God, that's so much.
I mean, because they were kind of in a relationship for almost 2 years. Quote unquote. Like, it was a long time. So therefore, it's like she really believed she was in a relationship with Tegan. And then they meet in person. That was good. That was good. Because this girl was suing her and everything. Like, she was like, no, this is inappropriate. This is not acceptable. Like, she went down this whole rabbit hole. And then she started saying, but Tara had the same experience that I had. And then everybody's like, well, who's Tara? So then it starts looking like this Tara person that nobody can figure out who is Tara. When did she meet a Tara? At what event? Or is she somebody in real life? Whatever. And then they get Tara on the phone in this documentary. And Tara's going down all these paths and saying all this stuff. And when they try to put her on the spot about stuff, she's throwing it little curveballs and seems to be gaslighting about stuff. So you're like, is it Tara? But then it feels like they don't really know if it's Tara, or they might not think it's Tara because of how she answered some things. And then it's like, well, is it this person? Is it that person? So it is a roller coaster ride, but this documentary was created for being 16 years of all this stuff has been going on.
16 years?
16 years, and the documentary was just created because of the fact that Tegan was like, I don't want to give this any more energy and any more power.
I get that, yeah.
Because if we put this out here, more and more people are going to pretend to be me because they know somebody's out here pretending to be me, and therefore more and more people could get scammed now, could be out of money, because right now it's just emotional. Like, everything that I had heard in this documentary was all emotional stuff. Because, I mean, how could Tegan ask you for money, right? But it was all things to make you feel like it was the power trip of this catfisher to say, you love me. Like, you worship me. You idolize me. And you just wish that you were with me. But, like,
bruh, it's not you.
Right.
You're thinking about Tegan.
Exactly.
So
but
they're
that
living
was
vicariously through Tegan by making a whole, like, whirlwind.
Yeah. And so, I said 16. Maybe it was 10. I'm seeing in my notes here maybe it was 10. But anyway, it was a very long time. And so the producer did ask why they took so long. And they said they didn't want to draw the attention. But they said that, the time has just come that it really needed to come out. And they want to shine the light on it now because they're like, we got to protect our fans. So we got to now tell the story because we don't want our fans to be victims of this. So they will know going forward if they get these types of emails, text messages, whatever the case may be, it is not Tegan. But yeah, so Tegan and the girlfriend broke up. Like, there's just so many different layers to all of this. It's just been a mess.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of drama.
It was passwords, addresses, like I said, their mom's medical history. Everything was doxed. Everything about them was. I mean, anytime you have somebody's passport. And this person was texting people the passport. Like, I just want you to have this so in case I lose my passport, you will have a copy of it that you can text back to me. And some people were like, that's weird. But then other people were like, oh my God, like, you are entrusting me with something that is. But
if somebody texts you a passport, you can't use it? That's not a
No. Not that they could use. Well, I guess they were just like, you're supposed to make a copy or do whatever of your passport potentially. And so they're like, if I have to go to the embassy, you can just text me my passport and show I have had one. At least you can show the proof of that or something. I don't know. But it sounds like it was an absolute nightmare that isn't 100% over yet because of the fact that nobody knows who the catfisher is. Still to this day.
Watches her sister the whole time.
Oh my gosh, that would be crazy.
That would be crazy, but that would also be...
That would be crazy.
That could also be a real thing.
Yeah. So, and it's reminding me that I'm also going to watch, so this will be a future podcast topic, Sweet Bobby. I'm starting to watch Sweet Bobby on Netflix.
Sweet Bobby?
Sweet Bobby on Netflix.
Okay.
It is
I think I have to look it up.
Yeah.
But I think so. I think I know
Yeah. It is about a catfishing situation as well.
With the girl from Grey's Anatomy?
No. A documentary? Mm-hmm. With the girl from Grey's Anatomy?
She was a writer on Grey's Anatomy.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe so. I didn't see that part. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's that one or not, but it's a documentary about somebody who was catfishing or whatever she was like a writer on Grey's Anatomy or something, and the lady ended up doing some weird stuff. I can't remember exactly what it was. I haven't started watching it yet.
I will report back because my plan is on vacay to watch all of Sweet Bobby.
Okay. Well,
so I don't know how many episodes it is, but I'm here for it.
I'm here for it too.
I'll be able to talk about it in further detail later. So, Sess, what do you have?
All right. I want to talk about Fight Night. The $1 Million Heist.
Night. I haven't
all
seen that
8
yet.
episodes have finally gone through. So now I can talk about it.
Let me make my list. Fight Night.
It's good. It's real good. So what it is that you got one dude, Chicken Man. Remember his name? And yeah, man, I like Chicken Man. Okay. Kevin Hart plays Chicken Man. Chicken Man knows everybody in Atlanta. Okay, because he runs the numbers.
Okay, got it.
So therefore, he knows everybody in Atlanta. He runs numbers. He's that guy. It's like, oh, you need such and such. All right, let me go ahead and make a call to such and such, and they'll be there for you. All right, I got you, Miss Johnson.
Peacock?
Yeah, on Peacock.
Okay, sorry, I had to make a note. Okay.
Yeah. So what happens is the big fight between, oh my goodness, who was it?
Ali. George Foreman.
No, it was Ali and
Frazier.
No.
Ali
I think it was a white dude. Okay. But I can't. It might have been Jack Dempsey or something like that. Whatever that.
I'll Google
it. But so at this fight, it's all of the big black mafia head men. You know what I'm saying? The kingpins of each black mafia.
Okay.
Of like, what was it? Memphis, Tallahassee, South Carolina, like just different parts in the South. And it might have been, I think Frank was from the North.
Okay.
But anyway, but then all of these guys are getting together just for this game.
He fights Jerry Quarry.
Okay.
Yep.
So everybody gets together for this fight. Everybody's there, flashed out. It reminds me of Frank Lucas.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I didn't watch it. But
you didn't watch American Gangster?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. So it reminds you of Frank Lucas going in. Everything is all gaudy. You know, everybody looks like pimps walking in there with like 3 lammies behind them. When they got the mink coat on that hangs off. When they got the cane and the hat put to the side.
Quack.
And they walking sideways with the cane. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like that. And afterwards, Chicken Man's like, hey, if I could get into Black Mafia head person Frank Moulton, who was played by Samuel L. Jackson, if I can get into his head, then, I can really be something down here for him. I can work underneath him, and I can always have this money going on, blah, blah, blah. He's like, I know everybody. He's like, well, and let me talk to Slim. Slim is another guy. Let me talk to Slim and figure out exactly how I can get in his ear. And he was like, look, Slim said basically, look, there is the fight's happening. Right. We're going to do an after party. He was like, man, just let me do the after party. And he's like, I already have somebody doing an after party. He was like, no, man, let me do it. I got to get in his ear. Let me show them that I know everything about Atlanta, and I could, give them a good time. I'll make sure everything's taken care of. Okay. That backfires tremendously. Some people get together and find out about the party. And when they do, they go to the house where it's supposed to be women there and alcohol and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, they run up to the house, walk in, and then they're like, everybody get on the ground.
Oh, it's a heist.
Yeah. They're like, okay. And then they start talking to people and it's like, look, here's what's going to happen. You're going to stand by that window and you're going to dance with this man right here. And you're not going to stop dancing or else I'm going to shoot you. And then you over here, you going to dance. And if you stop dancing, I'm going to shoot you. Oh you right here, I need you to stand right here at this door. So when somebody knocks, you open it up with a smile. Because if not, I'll shoot you. Oh, wow. So this is what they're saying the whole thing. So they basically did a staged dancing and stuff like that, it kind of reminded me of Home Alone, but actually with real people. You know, Home Alone when they had the train and they had Michael Jordan going around on the train.
Oh, yeah. Little people moving,
dancing around stuff.
Yeah.
But these were just actually real people, but they were still puppets because these people were like, this is what you're going to do.
Them.
Yeah. So, all the gangsters come in, and they come in one by one. When they come in, they're like, hey, come on inside, you know, come on. And people looking at them, and then they close the door, and they're just like, all right, so what? And then guns in your face. Go downstairs, get in the basement, take all your clothes off, strip. So now you have all of the big mafia people. And then, so they're all sitting there. It was like, son, do you know what you just did? And it's like, shut up. He was like, no, I don't think you understand what you did and who you have in this basement. And it's Samuel L. Jackson just going in. And it's like trying to get into his head to be like, you know, just.
But do they know who they have in the basement?
Yeah, they know.
Okay, I thought they did. Yeah. Okay, I'm just making sure. I was not confused.
Honestly, I don't think all of them know because one of the kids is like 16, so I don't think he knows. But yeah, it's like a little crew that they put together, and that is the start of this whole show. That's just the first episode.
Wow.
So then that's the whole start of the show. So now it's everybody is on the floor, like naked. Well, not fully naked, but like all the guys have their underwear on. We got Taraji P. Henson, who is she is the right arm of Chicken Man, but not his wife or anything.
Okay.
I think it's just a woman that he probably just used to mess around with.
Okay.
You know, but she is his bottom B. Okay. You know what I'm saying? She always going to be there. She always going to look out for him.
I don't think I ever say the top. It's always the bottom. Anyway,
that's because when you get to the bottom, who else is going to be there? But then it's just that one, all the rest of them are going to be gone.
Okay, I guess.
You know what I'm saying? That's what
I was
it
just
is.
wondering.
Started from the bottom, then
we're here. Yep.
So, but now it's just a story of that and how they think the entire time that Chicken Man is the one that set it up because it's Chicken Man's party. It's like, well, wait till we get up out of here, Chicken. We already know, you know, we coming for you, blah, blah, blah.
And where was Chicken Man during all this?
Naked downstairs.
Oh, he was with them.
Yeah.
Oh, so.
But he came in later. He came in later as people were coming in. Like not all of them came up together in like a, you know,
but still.
But yeah, everybody came in separately and they just put them all. Yeah. The actors in it, let me tell you something. David Banner.
Yeah.
Is a great actor.
Oh, really? Okay.
He is a great actor. All right, so Kevin Hart plays Gordon or Chicken Man. You got Taraji P. Henson plays Vivian, who is his right hand. You got Don Cheadle, who is J.D. Hudson, and he's a police officer who's trying to figure out what's going on with this whole thing. But he's already arrested Chicken Man before, so they got beef. But they gotta work together now. So they can go ahead and figure out who it was.
Who is
doing this? Who's framing him? But Chicken Man's on the run from the police. But then he's working with the police. Yeah.
Interesting.
Samuel L. Jackson is Frank Moten, who is the head of the Black Crime Mafia. Okay. You got Terrence Howard. Hey, man. You know what I mean?
Terrence is always Terrence.
Yeah. He plays Cadillac.
Of course he does.
He has like the Farrah Fawcett feathers all the way around. It looked like they took a bowl, put it on his head, and then just curled his ends up.
Okay. So it's kind of like with Ike Turner when, whatchamacallit played it, but just flipped down.
Yeah. Instead of flipped down, flipped up. What's the name of that lady from North Carolina with the tri-cut?
Oh, I don't know.
The governor, whatever. What is she?
No
She's
idea.
a state senator or something. White lady, she got the bowl cut, and then it goes into like a mullet. I'll have to show you later on.
You'll have to. I don't think I've seen that.
And this one I need Toby here because Toby would know.
Toby would know. Shout out. Yeah. Baby Bones.
So then some of the guys who ended up robbing them all is Miles Bullock, who plays Willie Black. Okay. You got Sinqua Walls, who plays McKinley Rogers, who was a soldier. So, you know, there was another soldier who was with him. And they was like, look, man, I got this job. I need you to just quickly do this job so we can go ahead and be good. Okay. David Blanner plays Missouri Slim.
Oh,
okay. And he's just like, I just want to say. And he talks like that with the high pitch. Like, you know, because Taraji... There was a situation where Taraji, another woman, is held captive because they're like, where's Chicken? But it was one time where he's like, come here. And she comes over and he was like, get on your knees. And she was like, oh. she's like, what do I have to do? She was like, because I ain't sleeping with you. He said, I ain't say that. Pedicure my feet. And then he sits back.
He got like a Morris Day kind of character.
Yeah, yes, that's basically what it is. He got the little thin mustache and then the little chin, the little round chin goatee thing. Yeah. He got the I'm gonna call that the Little Richard pump.
Oh, palm.
Yeah, he got that pompadour. Yeah. He got that. You also have Melvin Gregg, who is the young gentleman. I've seen him on a lot of different things, but he was on the most recent. He was on the what was that movie, The Blackening?
I never saw that.
Okay, yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah, he was on that. And then you got Clifton Powell.
Wow.
Clifton Powell plays a man called Mushmouth.
You always gotta have Clifton in something.
Mushmouth has to have subtitles. That's literally like what he said. I can understand him. I was like, did they just doing this, or is it like, can you actually understand them, or can you not understand them at all? It's not a Boomhauer situation from King of the Hill.
That's funny.
It's not like Mushmouth. Well, I don't know. It might be like Mushmouth from whatchamacallit? Hey Arnold.
Okay.
You got Atkins Estiman as Silky. Wow. Silky. Yeah, he got silk press. He
So
he looked like if Big Worm was to take out his curlers.
Yeah, okay,
that's what that is.
Okay.
So yeah,
they got a whole lot of different hairstyles in here. It sounds like
this is the '70s, baby.
Yeah, but I thought most people had
we
froze.
just getting it right. We just getting it right. We ain't got the froze fully yet. The ladies got the froze.
Okay.
But the men ain't got all the men ain't got the froze. They just came back from 9. They just came back from 9. So they just now starting to grow. They froze. You know what I'm saying?
You're cracking me up. Okay.
That's how they was working, baby.
Yeah, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Can you dig it?
Yeah, can you dig it? You jive turkey. Hey, dynamite. So just the whole thing is trying to figure out. So the Black Mafia people try to figure out who did the heist, right. But now they're starting to turn on each other. Because it's always one who's like, hey, this one over here is, he's trying to run stuff, and we're supposed to be working together as a team. Well, if he is the leader of most of the United States, I think that he owns all y'all. I think you have to come get your drugs and your stuff from him, and then goes from there. But it is good. It keeps you on your toes. It gives you all the storylines. It gives you storylines of Chicken and his wife. Okay. Chicken and Hudson, Don Cheadle. Okay. Chicken and Taraji. Then it goes down the path of Taraji and Chicken, Taraji and the other girl who I don't know her name, but she's actually I think she might be a social media influencer. And then each person has their own thing. It goes down the whole path of the people who robbed them and everything that happened with that. So it's I like how it gives you all perspectives, basically. Okay. So it's not like you know who the robbers are at the beginning, but you just got to figure out how does it profitable for them? Right. Yeah, how does it get there? Yeah, exactly. Okay. So that's what I had. Fight Night. Wait, what was the name of it? Fight Night. My phone.
The $1 million heist.
$1 million heist.
Yeah. And I am feeling some kind of way because I just tried to download it, and it says that I have to upgrade to Peacock Premium Plus to download things. That's dumb. And I'm feeling some kind of way about that because I would watch that on the flight.
Well, I guess you're just going to have to watch it on the Lido deck.
No, because I can't have Wi-Fi.
They don't have Wi-Fi on those ships anymore?
No, they never had Wi-Fi on ships.
I thought they had Wi-Fi on ships.
You pay for Wi-Fi on ships. But they don't have a Wi-Fi.
Yeah, you got to pay for everything. You want water? We don't have fountains. You got to pay $17.
No, you can use the water out of the little dispenser or whatever if you want to do that. But yeah, everything you do have to pay for. If you want like bottled water and fresh stuff and everything. But anyway, I digress. I will say that one of the things that I heard was an interview with Kevin Hart regarding this movie, and he said that what was very beneficial to them in creating this movie was having Samuel L. Jackson on the set because he was there.
Oh, he was at the fight?
he was not at the fight because he said, I was broke. Me and my wife ain't had no money.
He was
we were
outside
in the surroundings and
saw
we
the
were
people coming
seeing
in.
everything with the people going
that
in,
would be
the
kind of
people
cool
going
to do,
out,
you know what I'm saying?
and just having the experience.
Yeah.
He was like, but I ain't had no money to be able to go to the fight. So he was explaining things like, no, this is how it looked, or this is how the cars you know, like he was explaining the whole.
See, that's so awesome
everything.
that you have somebody that can actually help you make help you make your millions.
Right, and he said that helped so much to just make sure that it was as authentic as it could be of what Samuel L. Jackson saw and experienced literally living it.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Alrighty, so what I have next is the BBC show, because you know I do love my BBC. And it is called Blue Lights.
Special. That was Red Light Special.
That was Red Light, but yeah. Blue Light Special was probably at Kmart. Because they used to always do back in the day the Blue Light Special. Yeah, you just be in the store and all of a sudden they make an announcement, Blue Light Special. Come over to aisle, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. We have on discount sale, blah, blah. And they literally have a blue light flashing.
Yeah, the flashing. Like,
for people old enough.
Like an old school, like chips.
Know that.
Go on top of the
Yeah, it wouldn't make the noise.
On
top of the car. Yeah, but it would be, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like a cart. And they would
it was
roll
a shopping cart,
with the light cart, and then the light would be at the top. The good old days. So, but for this Blue Lights, it's different. So it's a show on BritBox, is how I watched it, through the BBC. And it follows the story of rookie police officers. And so basically it is based in Ireland. So it's not based in the British area, but in Ireland. And you have to get used to the Irish accents because they're pretty strong. Like, I can't really do a Irish accent.
Yeah, you should just stop while you're ahead. Just stop now. It's okay.
I'm trying to sound like a leprechaun.
But you're probably pissing off a lot of people.
Maybe. I could be, my darling. Okay, so, but anywho, so it's in Ireland. So I did have to put on the subtitles so that I could just follow along at first. And then as I started watching a couple episodes, I kind of got into the swing of the accents. But basically, it starts off with a mother who is going to be a police officer. She's starting a new profession after being like a social worker or something like that. And she was like, I think I want to go into being a police officer. She has a teenage son. And you can tell that, you know, there's some concerns about being an Irish police officer because think about it. Back in the 80s, I don't know if you know this because you were born, but there were some serious things going on in Ireland to the point that they literally always had things called Irish car bombs. Oh, yeah, and you can have the drink now called an Irish car bomb or whatever. So there were constantly car bombs. And I'm guessing things like that must still be happening because even, I think this was, the episodes I was watching was from 2023. And as a police officer, she's literally walking out her house, going to her personal car, looking under her car before she starts it.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Like, that's how serious it still is.
I guess I would have to get a bicycle. Ain't no kickstart that's going to make me blow up.
Yeah, so it's like one of those things that I guess is still a thing for real.
Wow, okay.
So, you know, she checks under her car and then she's like, okay, I guess it's good to go. So she puts in the key and starts it up and I guess hopes for the best, but everything's good. So they kind of jump to her being in hot pursuit. So she's like riding alongside her partner. Okay. And they are in hot pursuit of somebody and they're chasing them and the car finally goes off the road, flips over. They go to the car. It ends up being somebody who's a habitual offender. And so this habitual offender, they book him. He ends up later getting out and then come to find out he's kind of involved with this Irish mob, I guess you would say. Mm-hmm. But he gets out because he basically says that throughout the show, he ends up saying that the cops are doing things to him because he will see whether or not they have their camera on. He can see if the light is shining because, you know, as you arrest somebody, as you do something, you're supposed to have your camera on. Yeah. If they don't, he uses that as his way to say, they kicked me in the face. They beat me up. They did this. They did that. And so therefore, they're like, our department can't deal with
and then they'll throw it out or whatever.
Of all of this stuff. So he ends up, you know, kind of getting out. So there's that. Then you have where you end up, by the way, with a scenario with him seeing that one rookie police officer didn't have that camera on, he was happened to be one time just walking with his friend down the street, and she was with her superior. And they both were like, we're going to, kind of like a stop and search, but you don't really have a probable cause to do so. So anyway,
stop and search.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I mean, but you said with that, but you don't have a probable cause.
So
that's stop and frisk is what.
Yeah, basically.
That's the same thing we have here.
So as they went to go do that, he saw that they didn't have the camera on. He starts swinging at the cop. Then the other cop, who's her superior, starts coming in. Him and his friend basically beat up the police officers, but then turn it around and say that the police officers beat them up. So it's it's crazy just how everything is out there. Then you have another rookie who is with his superior, or not superior, probably his partner, I guess, he's learning, and they pull over a car. So he walks up to the car, and his superior, he recognizes the superior is looking at his phone to kind of look up the license plate and stuff. And he just gets out the car. He goes up to the car. He walks up, and the person is like, and he was like, yeah, license or registration or whatever they say over there. And the person was like, I don't think you know who you pulled over. And he's like, I just need to see your license and registration. And he's like, I'm not giving you anything. And so the young cop is looking at him like, dude, what are you talking about? And so he's in the car with this female, and they both are just so nonchalant. We're not going to respect you. We're not going to do anything for you. And so then finally the cop who was in the car, his superior who was looking up, or I guess his partner who was looking up, the more senior cop, realizes that the license plates aren't even in the system of this car. So he's like, So he goes up, and he just basically tells the junior officer to stand down. We're sorry to have interrupted you. Go about your day. Have a great day. So now you're trying to figure out, how are there people who can drive cars and not have to obey anything that the police officers say? Their licenses aren't in the system, and they can just do whatever they want to do. And so they do end up explaining that.
Was it because they're...
I can't say.
Oh, okay.
I won't say.
But
anyway, but they're so it's just some interesting scenarios like that. And then you have a scenario where there's one officer, her mom is really high up in the police ranks. So that's really the only reason she's an officer. She's scared to do anything. She's a jerk. She bosses everybody around and acts like she's Miss Highfalutin. But then when it's time to actually do something, she's frozen, sitting in the car. And they're like, you have to get out here and do such and such. People are throwing things at the officers out there. And she's like, I can't. And it's like, really, girl? You are the one who is so on top of your game, but yet when everything hits the road, you're not even doing anything. So you have a lot of different dynamics. You also have this scenario with the first officer that I was mentioning, who's a mom, where she is trying to help. So the guy who keeps getting out of jail, his mom is going through it. So she's having a lot of mental situations taking place. At one point she had knives in her hands. She was trying to go after even her neighbors and all these different people, the mob. She didn't care. She was like, y'all took in my son. Y'all are turning him into who he is. He's going to be in prison or potentially die and she's trying to go after people. And so you have the woman who has the social work background, and she's trying to talk her down. And she's just trying, and everybody else is like, just shoot her with a beanbag. Just do whatever. We don't
shoot her with a beanbag. I'm just going to go around all night saying that. Shoot her with a beanbag.
But it's just that you just don't feel like you have the time. Some officers are like, we just don't have the time. Just arrest her and call it a day. And then it's like, no, she's going through something. She's having a mental episode. I can't just do that. So then it just goes through the storyline of her trying to help this woman, but at the same time, with her being a rookie cop, everybody who's above her is saying, leave the woman alone. So then it's do you obey what you know to be right in your head and your heart of helping this woman, or do you do what your superiors are telling you to do? So it's interesting, especially when you have countries where people can't always just go out with guns too. Cops. Too. You have to sign them out and do certain things. So they go through that perspective as well. But, it's just, it's almost like, I guess, the TV show, The Rookie, but it's just from an Ireland perspective, and various elements that to me seem pretty intense because you got to check under your car all the time. Like you basically walk under your car with like a mirror stick.
Yeah. So like when the people, like when the buses leave the prisons. Wow.
And then you also have the element of the Irish mob and just the, they don't give any F's about anything, so they just do whatever they want to do. And so, it's a lot of moving parts, but it's pretty entertaining, from a different, cause like Wentworth versus Orange is the New Black and stuff like that. Like I just like seeing certain shows from a different perspective.
Yeah, I get that.
And so, and if you haven't watched Wentworth, I 1,000%.
Absolutely.
1,000% recommend watching Wentworth.
Absolutely.
If you watch episode 1 and you don't like it, it's no need to keep
it's not for you. It's not for you.
There's no need to keep watching.
But you'll like it.
But episode 1 has 50,000 things happen in it.
Yes.
And that is how the whole series goes.
It makes Orange is the New Black look like a parody.
It does. It makes it, you're right. It makes it look like a parody. It makes it look like a kid's show sometimes too. It's not even as well written. It's not as well acted.
It's like the storyline is good. And the twists and the turns and all the plot twists, it's so good. It's good.
It's so good. All right.
Oh my gosh.
So that is Blue Lights again. It's on the BBC. I watched it on BritBox, and I didn't go through who the actors are because I have no idea who these people are. And most of us who listen to this podcast are probably in America, and we don't know who the people are, so I didn't take the time. But you can always Google it. What do you have, sis?
All right, so for my last thing, I have the American Society of Magical Negroes.
I have never heard of that in
This
my
is
life.
on Prime.
Okay.
It's on Prime.
I thought it was just about a society you were going to talk about, but it's an actual show.
It's a movie, and it is a conversation starter.
Oh, okay. I'm interested to find out more.
So you have Justice Smith, who plays Aaron.
Okay.
Aaron is a young man who literally starts off the movie as he is at an art exhibit.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of people around him. There's a bunch of white people like at this exhibit, and he's walking, and as he's walking, people just cutting in front of him. He's like, "Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, my bad."
Yeah, he's apologizing, but they're not.
He's apologizing as people are walking into him, backing into him, and stuff like that. So then he gets over to where his stuff is. Nobody wants to buy any of his stuff. Everybody's just kind of looking at it and like, or whatever. But he is the only black person that is there. Yes. Yeah. There is another black man who is there who is the bartender.
Oh, okay.
And you would know him because you've seen him forever and ever ago. David Allen Greer.
Oh, I love David Allen Greer.
Yeah. He plays Roger.
Still looking like Santa Claus, like a black Santa Claus?
Yep, sure is. With bald head.
Yeah.
So he plays Roger. Now, the thing that makes Roger get Aaron's attention or gets on his radar is that the lady who owns the art exhibit place or whatever, what is it called? The art gallery. Yeah, there you go. The art gallery. She goes up to Aaron and says, "Hey, look, your stuff's not selling. Nobody's interested in it. This is the last person that we have that hasn't purchased anything. Go and talk to him." Mm-hmm. He walks up and he's like, "Hey, excuse me." And the guy's like, "Oh, okay, no, I'm good. I don't need anything. Here, take this." And takes his wine glass. And he was like, "No, I'm actually," and then he stops. And then it cuts to Aaron is now walking up with the glass and the plate that the man had in his hands and put it down in front of David Allen Greer, who plays Roger.
Because it was like it didn't even matter what you said to him because he already assumed you were a server.
You're a waiter, yes. So the lady who owns the gallery says, "Does the biggest client that I have in here think that you are a waiter and you didn't try to push your stuff?" She was like, "I don't think I can help you." She was like, "I'm not going to push for you to be great if you're not going to be great." Like basically she's like, "Why am I going to force you to sell your stuff
when you should be
trying to sell your stuff?"
People to understand and not just be subservient.
Exactly. So granted, his art was just a whole bunch of yarn hanging on a string.
Weird. Okay.
And art is different.
It is subjective.
Yes, exactly.
I am
that subject. I definitely failed.
I could not. Yeah.
So
but maybe we could. Maybe we are already $1 million artists. We just don't even know it, because what we have in our minds could literally be something that people would pay a lot of money for, of just splashing stuff. I mean, think about, what is his name? Pollock. All he did was flick, 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 and made millions.
Yeah, it's true. So, I mean, Andy Warhol had a picture of a soup can. Campbell's.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't think Campbell sued him.
At least it was, a good looking picture.
I mean, it's a pretty decent one, but it wasn't Picasso. Anyway,
okay, sorry.
Yeah. So he gets, where was I at?
You were saying that he saw David Allen Greer.
So David Allen Greer. Here's the whole conversation between him and the lady who owns the gallery. And the kid gets his stuff, throws it in the trash can, leaves.
Okay.
David Allen Greer walks out behind him, and they're just walking, but they're a distance away from each other.
Yeah. Okay.
Aaron goes to the ATM, puts his card in, $17.89. That's all money he has, and he's like,
he should have tried to sell that piece.
Yeah, and he's like, oh God, and then he turns around, takes his card out, blah blah blah. And then some girl walks up to him and says something to him, and she puts her card in the machine. She can't figure out how to get her money or anything. She's also extremely drunk. So now she's like, here, hold this. So now he's holding her wallet.
Oh my goodness, it's always something with him.
And now he's like, he's like, hey, you should put in your PIN number. And she's like, 555-0198. And he's like, that's your phone number. You got to put in, that's not what I'm asking for. And she's just still going on talking. So she's like, oh my God, I can't find my debit card. Where's my debit card? And then the two guys that she was with are walking up. And she's like, I can't find my debit card. I think he stole my debit card. The boy doesn't even hear that. He was like, he stole her wallet. Her wallet, her purse. He just has the purse in his hand. Just like, what? She literally handed this to me. He was like, she forgot her pen. I'm trying to help her, and the dude was just not hearing it,
which is a little suspect. Don't help somebody with their pen, because then it makes it look like you're going to take the money after they give it out the ATM. So
then what happens?
What happens?
The guys run up to him. One of his buddies stops him and was like, look, here's the purse right here. Look down at Aaron's hand. The purse is no longer in Aaron's hands.
Where is it?
The purse is on the girl's shoulder. She was like, it's right here. Like, I had it the entire time. Yes. So what happens?
That's the magic.
David Allen Greer is across the street, standing underneath, he's on an all black street, standing underneath one light that just happened to shine down on him. Okay.
Sorry.
That's a dumb picture it. 1922.
Yeah, exactly. That had me laugh. Okay, continue.
So he walks over and he was like, hey man, everything okay over here? Talking to the guys, and they were just like, yeah, I'm sorry about that, man. I thought that you had her wallet and blah blah blah. And then they do a fist bump, and then David Allen Greer is like, okay. So then he tells the boy, come on, follow me, I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
And then that's when he starts to tell him about
the magic.
Yes. And so what it is that the Society of Magical Negroes actually make life easier on Caucasians. So, and then that way in return, the Caucasians don't make life harder for anyone who's not
Seriously?
Caucasian.
That's what we have to do? I mean, that's what they have to do?
Yeah, that is what it is.
Okay, so.
And you know what? Watching it, I was like, I've done that before. I gotta relax. Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it is good, and then it gets into parts where some people it shows you how to talk to them. It was like they had a whole Green Mile John Coffey and Tom Hanks kind of fake little thing where he's like, hey boss, your woman, really? She love you, and I know you're trying to get a baby, and then he puts his hand on his privates, and then the dude's like, that whole thing.
Okay, gotcha.
So they do that, but it's just basically how Black people would be the fairy godmothers for Caucasian people.
And they don't even know that it's happening behind the scenes for them.
But they don't realize it's like basically just Black people going around pep talking white people all day. That's all it is.
So making them feel good so that way they don't make anybody else feel bad.
Yeah, so then that way they don't hurt anybody else, because that after that it becomes like you can stop them from killing somebody or having someone killed because of the fact that, and they have like this meter that comes beside them. So then like that pops up, like your eyes, you can blink your eyes a couple of times, the meter pops up and you can see green, yellow, or red. And you have to gauge where their anger is.
Right.
And you got to keep it in that green. So then that way it makes the world a better place. But there are some people who are like, I was the one who messed up all the magical powers that we all have now because
they did.
I cussed at them and it was like, you're not always right. And they were like, but that's not what our job is. She was like, well, I ain't never say I wanted this job. Y'all recruited me.
I was going to say, how did people get into that job? So he is trying to recruit this guy into doing this same.
Because of the fact that the guy was so timid and so scared of Caucasians that he was like, oh yeah, this will work out perfect.
Yeah, he's a good one for that.
Yeah, he's a good one to just go ahead and be, the guy who's going to be your cheerleader, who's your yes man.
Gotcha.
In the end, I do like, it's just cute how it ends in the end. It's kind of cute, but then kind of like that wouldn't be me at the same time. But I like it though.
Okay.
I like it. So check it out. You got, so like I said, you got Justice Smith, where you would know him. He is the younger gentleman who was on, what was that breakdance one that was on Netflix?
Breakdancing?
Get Down.
Oh, the Get Down. Okay,
yeah. I don't know. And he's been on a couple of other things before too. You might know him from, he was on Jurassic Kingdom. He's a Pikachu. He's the main guy on Pikachu. He's the main guy.
You were speaking Greek to me.
Okay, cool. So then, all right. So you have him. Another main person is David Allen Greer, which I already said. You have Asia Hines, or Aisha. Okay. It might be Aisha Hines, who you know her from as Henrietta from 911.
Oh, him. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah.
You also have, let me see who's important on here because there's a lot of people who aren't. Oh, you have, oh my God, Nozifo McLean, who plays Lily, who is actually, really comes into play at the end of this because of the fact that the guy that Aaron's supposed to be watching has a crush on the girl that Aaron already met before in a coffee shop. And it's like, now she's off limits. Oh, gotcha. So it's like, I met this girl. She's awesome. We talked in Starbucks for the longest time. Yeah. But I have to go to this guy and handle his situation. But now she works with this guy. And they're working on a project together. He has a crush on her. Yeah. So now I can't have a crush on her because that's going to make him go to the red. Goodness. It's like a little kettle.
Oh, my goodness.
So, check it out.
Won't let us be great.
Yeah, no. So, please check out...
say that name again.
The American Society of Magical Negroes.
Okay, got it. And it's on what?
That is on... Oh, I forgot.
It's all good.
Prime. Sorry, okay. It's on Prime. No, I had to think. I had it for a second, and I was thinking about you talking about Peacock, and I was like, I can't get it out of my head.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, sounds good. Well, that is the end of this week's episode, everyone, of Sestra-Tainment. Have an amazing week. Be kind to yourself and each other.
Yeah.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.